Today, we're going to talk about something that kind of flips a lot of modern dating advice right on its head. We're going to explore the magnetic power of masculine stillness and why sometimes the most attractive thing you can possibly do is nothing at all.
So let me just start by asking you this. We live in a world that is just buzzing, right? Notifications, opinions, this constant pressure to be performing. In the middle of all that noise, what does your silence actually say? Is it awkward? Is it empty? Or is it full of a quiet confidence?
Okay, so let's dive right into our first big idea here, and I think this is something a lot of us are going to recognize. It's called the action paradox. And it's this really counterintuitive idea that all our efforts to create connection can sometimes be the very thing that pushes it away.
We have all been here, right? That pressure to be on. You're on a date, you're in a big conversation, and you feel this frantic need inside to be interesting, to tell the perfect story, to crack a joke, to fill every single little pause. But all that pressure to perform, it just ends up creating anxiety, not just for you, but for the person you're with, too.
And you can really see the two different energies laid out here. On one side, you've got that hurried intensity. It's anxious, it's performative, it's reactive. It's the energy of someone who's trying way too hard. But then look at the other side, grounded stillness. Now, this is not about being boring or passive. It's about being calm, intentional, and just fully present. It's a totally different vibe. So, this brings us to the real core of what we're talking about today, the power of stillness. This is all about kind of reframing what we think of as strength, moving away from just constant action and noise, and more towards a centered, grounded presence. So let's get super clear on what we mean. Masculine stillness isn't something that just happens. It's an active, cultivated state. It's a deliberate choice to be right here, right now. And how do you do it? Well, you can start by choosing to fully listen instead of just planning what you're going to say next. That focus, that simple act, it communicates this deep sense of safety and self-confidence that doesn't need to prove anything. And this is absolutely crucial. We are not talking about being passive or checked out or aloof. That's the complete opposite of this. What we're talking about is a powerful, focused, undistracted presence. It's the ability to give someone your full attention without needing to do anything else. Your presence itself becomes the most powerful thing in the room. Now, I know this might all sound a little bit philosophical, but believe it or not, it's actually rooted in some pretty fascinating science. So let's geek out for a second and look at the neurobiology behind why this is so effective. So the key player here is something called the parasympathetic nervous system. The easiest way to think about it is like your body's brake pedal. When you're stressed out and anxious, your fight or flight system is floored. But when you feel safe, when you're relaxed, that's when your parasympathetic system, the brake pedal, takes over. And that is the state where genuine connection can actually happen. And this is so cool. Here's how it works. Our nervous systems are literally talking to each other all the time, beneath the surface. So when you embody this calm, grounded state, you're not just calming yourself down. The other person's nervous system can actually co-regulate with yours. It's like it tunes into your frequency. They start to feel safe around you, which allows them to relax, let their guard down, and become way more open to connection. Okay, so let's bring this down from the clouds and get really practical. A fantastic way to feel the difference between that anxious energy and a grounded presence is through the simple act of touch. Just look at this comparison. You have a polite touch, like a hesitant little pat on the back. It gets processed by the mind. It feels kind of procedural, almost like it's asking a question. The other person's brain immediately starts analyzing it. What does this mean? Is this okay? But a grounded touch, one that's calm, confident, and present, it completely bypasses that analytical mind. It's felt directly by the body. It doesn't ask a question, it communicates safety. Let's just let that sink in for a second, because it is so powerful. One is a question, full of uncertainty. The other is a statement, full of quiet confidence. And that fundamental difference, it doesn't just apply to touch, it applies to our entire way of being. So why does all this matter so much, especially right now in the world we live in? Well, because when you understand this, it stops being just a technique and it becomes something much, much more meaningful. This quote really just says it all. In a world where almost everyone is distracted, anxious, and pulled in a million directions, offering someone your calm, undivided presence isn't just attractive, it's a profound gift. You're literally creating a small island of safety and connection in a society that is often starving for it. And really, that's the bottom line. We spend so much of our time and energy worrying about what to do, what to say, what the next move should be. But true, deep connection, it's not built on a checklist of actions. It's built on a state of being. It's not about what you do, it's about how you are in that moment.
So I'll just leave you with this one last question to mull over. In your own life, in your interactions, in your relationships, what kind of new, deeper connections could you create? Not by trying to add more, but by making the choice to consciously do less and simply be more present.